JLG Industries Incorporated, manufacturer of JLG aerial work platforms, presents JLG Rough Terrain Scissor Lift Safety. The purpose of this presentation is to provide the operator with the procedures essential for proper machine operation. This presentation does not relieve the user operator from the responsibility of obtaining, reading, and fully understanding the applicable operators and safety manual and other information provided by the manufacturer. The operators and safety manual, a safety handbook, and a copy of the ANSI responsibilities, ANSI A92.6, should be located in a plastic compartment located on the platform. If these documents are not available, they must be obtained and kept with the machine. The operator of a JLG rough terrain scissor lift must not accept operating responsibility until instructed by a qualified person. The operators and safety manual has been read and understood, and the JLG scissor lift has been operated under the supervision of a qualified operator. In addition, the operator and employer are responsible for complying with federal, state, local, or provincial rules and regulations covering the proper use and operation of this product. If there is a question on application and/or operation, contact the Product Safety and Reliability Department at JLG Industries Incorporated at area code 877-JLG-SAFE or 877-554-7233. We'll break this presentation into 4 parts. This will include the walk-around inspection, controls and function check, safety precautions, and emergency procedures. It's your responsibility to inspect the JLG rough terrain scissor lift you'll be using before operation of the machine. JLG recommends that you inspect the JLG rough terrain scissor lift before operation, even if another user has put the machine into service. The walk-around inspection described in this video is the method of inspection required by JLG. The inspection procedures shown in this video are representative of those used on JLG rough terrain scissor lifts and may not include every item contained in the inspection procedures outlined in the Operators and Safety Manual for a specific model. Complete inspection procedures are outlined in the Operators and Safety Manual for the specific JLG rough terrain scissor lift model you'll be using and must be complied with. A representative walk-around inspection of JLG rough terrain scissor lifts is as follows. On each of the items being checked, make sure there are no loose or missing parts, that they're securely fastened, and that no visible damage exists in addition to any other criteria mentioned. Check the steer cylinder and leakage to ensure there is no evidence of steer cylinder hydraulic oil leakage. Ensure the engine air filter element is clean. Engine oil supply is to the full mark on the dipstick with the filler cap secure. The motor pump unit should have no evidence of hydraulic oil leakage. And the muffler and exhaust system show no signs of leakage when inspecting the engine installation. Check the lug nuts, tire condition, and inflation pressure, if applicable, of the tire and wheel assemblies. All compartment covers and latches are in proper working condition. The batteries should have the proper electrolyte level, if appropriate. All cables secure, no damage or corrosion, and the hold-downs must be secure if equipped. And always use eye protection when working around batteries. Control valves should show no evidence of hydraulic oil leakage or any unsupported, damaged, or broken wires or hoses. The ground control switches must be operable. Verify that all applicable switches return to the neutral position when released. Ensure all placards and control markings are legible, clean, and unobstructed. There should be no evidence of hydraulic oil leakage from the hydraulic reservoir. The recommended hydraulic fluid level should be as shown on the side of the tank or on the sight gauge, and the breather cap should be secure. The hydraulic filter housing should show no evidence of hydraulic oil leakage. The drive motors and brakes should show no evidence of hydraulic oil leakage. Inspect the manual descent system components. Check the hardware of the ladder. The fuel filler cap should be secure, and the fuel tank should have no visible damages or signs of leakage or any spilled fuel. To inspect the next three items, the scissor arms must be raised and the safety prop placed in the proper position to support the scissor arms assembly. Inspect the scissor arms and sliding wear pads. Inspect the high drive speed limit switches and/or any drive cutout switches. The lift cylinder should show no evidence of hydraulic oil leakage. Inspect the platform assembly. Ensure all railings of the guardrail installation are securely attached and the platform entrance chain is in good condition. If equipped, verify that the platform deck extension operates properly and can be locked in place when extended or retracted. The platform control switches must be operable. Verify that all applicable switches return to the neutral position when released. Ensure all placards and control markings are legible, clean, and unobstructed. Check under the machine for loose or missing parts as well as any fluid leaks that may indicate damage to the machine. Be sure to include the following as part of the walk-around inspection. Ensure overall cleanliness. Check all standing surfaces for hydraulic oil spillage and foreign objects. Keep all information and operating placards legible, clean, and unobstructed. Protect when spray painting or shot blasting to maintain legibility. Ensure copies of all applicable manuals, those being the Operator's and Safety Manual, the Safety Handbook, as well as the ANSI responsibilities, are in the manual storage holder. Ensure that a machine operating record or log is kept. Check to see that it's current and that no entries have been left uncorrected, leaving the machine in an unsafe condition for operation. Also, ensure that all lubrication has been completed as outlined in the Operator's and Safety Manual for your specific JLG rough terrain scissor lift. Check the machine for unauthorized modifications. Modification or alteration of a JLG rough terrain scissor lift shall be made only with prior written permission of the manufacturer. You should start each day with a full tank of fuel. Check for spilled or leaking fuel. Always shut down the engine and don't smoke or have any open flames when refueling. To operate the machine safely and to avoid injury, do not operate the machine until all of the previously mentioned items have been inspected and corrected as necessary. If any of those items need corrected, shut down the machine, remove it from service, and notify the proper personnel. A function check of all systems should be performed after the walk-around inspection is complete. The machine must be positioned on a firm, level surface in an area free of overhead and ground level obstructions. Read and obey all warning placards and operating instructions on the scissor lift and in the applicable manuals prior to operation. Do not operate the scissor lift until you've done so. Before we begin to operate the JLG rough terrain scissor lift, we need to check that we have the proper personal protection equipment. JLG recommends approved head protection be worn by all operating and ground personnel. After all, your head becomes the highest point when operating a scissor lift at all heights. While neither ANSI SIA or OSHA require the use of approved fall protection devices when using scissor lifts, JLG recommends that all personnel in the platform of the scissor lift use full body harnesses with lanyards attached to authorized lanyard anchorage points. Only one lanyard may be attached to each lanyard anchorage point. If your JLG rough terrain scissor lift is not equipped with designated lanyard anchorage points, contact JLG Industries Incorporated for information on installing authorized lanyard anchorage points. You're responsible for complying with all applicable laws and regulations, their exact wording and requirements as they apply to your work, and the personal protection equipment required to perform your work. Many JLG rough terrain scissor lift models are equipped with control panels that use symbols to indicate control functions. Refer to your operator's and safety manual or the legend located near the platform and ground control panels for a listing of these symbols and their corresponding functions. Now, let's do a function check of the JLG rough terrain scissor lift from the ground controls. The power select switch. This is a 3-position, center-off, key-operated switch supplying operating power to the platform or ground controls as selected. When positioned to platform, the switch provides power to the platform control panel. When positioned to ground, the switch provides power to the ground controls. Ignition emergency stop. This is a 2-position red mushroom-shaped switch that works in combination with the power selector switch to provide power to the ground control station when placed in the on position. Pushed to the off position, power is shut off to all functions. Start switch. This is a push-button switch that supplies electrical power to the starter solenoid when depressed, and the ignition emergency stop switch is on. Lift switch. This is a 3-position control switch that raises and lowers the platform. The switch returns to neutral when released. Raise and lower the platform through several cycles and check for smooth operation. Check the emergency stop switch functions by depressing it while raising the platform. All machine functions will be disabled if it's functioning properly. If it does function properly, reset the emergency stop switch for operation. Verify the proper operation of the manual descent system. Raise the platform between 2 and 3 feet with the lift switch at the ground controls. Locate the manual descent system for your JLG rough terrain scissor lift and follow the operating instructions as specified in the operator's and safety manual. This concludes our functional check of the ground controls of a JLG rough terrain scissor lift. We'll now perform the functional check of the platform controls. Position the power selector switch to the platform position. The maximum capacity for the JLG rough terrain scissor lift is displayed on the machine and in the operator's and safety manual. Know the total weight of all individuals and equipment to be placed in the platform before operation. Never exceed the rated capacity and distribute the load evenly on the platform floor. Always face the machine and use the 3-point contact method when entering or leaving the platform. The 3-point contact method means that 2 hands and 1 foot, or 1 hand and 2 feet, are in contact with the machine at all times when entering or leaving the platform. Enter the platform and properly and securely attach the entrance chain. Identify the designated lanyard anchorage point in the platform and securely attach your lanyard. Emergency stop. This is a 2-position red mushroom-shaped switch that works in combination with the power selector switch to provide electrical power to the platform control station when placed in the on position. When pushed to the off position, electrical power is shut off to all functions. Set the emergency stop switch to the on position. Start switch. This is a push-button switch that supplies electrical power to the starter solenoid when depressed, and the ignition emergency stop switch is on. Depress this switch to start the engine. Now the machine is ready for operation to perform the functional check of the platform controls. Consult the instructions for operating the platform controls as outlined in the operator's and safety manual. Verify the lift function's proper operation by raising and lowering the platform through several cycles and checking for smooth operation. Remember, never slam a control switch or lever through neutral to an opposite direction. Always return the switch to neutral and stop before moving the switch to the opposite position. Operate controls with slow, even pressure. Check the emergency stop switch functions by depressing it while raising the platform. All machine functions will be disabled if it's functioning properly. If it does function properly, reset the emergency stop switch for operation. Check the drive function for proper operation by driving forward and reverse. The high drive speed function will not operate when the platform is raised above a certain height, allowing only the low drive speed to function. Consult the operators and safety manual of the applicable JLG rough terrain scissor lift for the maximum platform height at which the high drive speed function is permitted to operate. If the high drive speed function does operate when the platform is elevated above the specified high drive speed cutout height, shut down the machine, remove it from service, and notify the proper personnel. Evaluate the steer function. Steer left and right and check for proper operation. Check that the drive brake holds when the machine is driven up and stopped on a grade. The grade must not exceed the rated gradability as stated in the Operators and Safety Manual for the applicable JLG rough terrain scissor lift model. Verify the proper operation of the platform extension by consulting the Operators and Safety Manual for the proper procedures to extend and retract the platform extension deck. Ensure it will lock in place in the extended and retracted positions. Do not travel with the machine unless the platform extension is properly secured in place. Do not activate the lift down function without completely retracting and securing the platform extension in place. This concludes the functional check of a JLG rough terrain scissor lift. If any of the functions outlined in this video or in the Operators and Safety Manual for the applicable JLG rough terrain scissor lift model do not function properly, shut down the machine, remove it from service, and notify the proper personnel. Some general safety precautions must be followed during operation of a JLG rough terrain scissor lift. First, do not operate any machine on which danger, warning, caution, or instruction placards or decals are missing or illegible. Do not operate the machine unless it's been serviced and maintained according to the manufacturer's specifications and schedule. Do not remove, modify, or disable any safety device. Never operate a malfunctioning machine. If a malfunction occurs, shut down the machine, remove it from service, and notify the proper personnel. Precautions to avoid all hazards in the work area must be taken by the operator and supervisor before starting work. Check the work area for hazardous locations. Do not operate the machine in hazardous environments unless approved for that purpose by JLG. Check the work area for any overhead electrical lines, machine traffic such as bridge cranes, highway, rail, and construction equipment. Ensure that operators of other overhead and floor machines are aware of the aerial platform's presence. Disconnect power to overhead cranes and electrical lines. Position barricades on the floor if necessary. Maintain a safe clearance from electrical lines, apparatus, or any energized part, whether exposed or insulated. Allow for machine movement and electrical line swaying or sagging. The scissor lift is not insulated and does not provide protection from contact with or proximity to an electrically charged conductor. Maintain a clearance of at least 10 feet or 3 meters between any part of the machine, its occupants, their tools or equipment, and any electrical line or apparatus carrying up to 50,000 volts. 1 foot additional clearance is required for every additional 30,000 volts or less. Consider all overhead power lines to be energized high-tension wires. Do not operate the machine when wind conditions exceed the maximum speed outlined in the Operators and Safety Manual for your JLG rough terrain scissor lift model. Do not operate the machine or raise the platform from a position on trucks, trailers, railway cars, floating vessels, scaffolds, or other equipment unless the application is approved in writing by JLG. When 2 or more persons are in the platform, the operator shall be responsible for all machine operations. Observe extreme caution at all times to prevent obstacles from striking or interfering with operating controls and persons in the platform. During operation, keep all body parts inside the platform railings. Both feet must be firmly positioned on the platform floor at all times. Be familiar with the driving surface before driving. Do not exceed the allowable side slope and grade while driving. Before driving on floors, bridges, trucks, and other surfaces, check the allowable capacity of these surfaces. Do not travel on unsupported surfaces. Watch for obstructions around the machine and overhead when driving. Keep the chassis of the machine a minimum of 2 feet or 0.6 meters from holes, bumps, drop-offs, obstructions, debris, and coverings which may conceal holes and other hazards. Do not elevate the platform or drive with the platform elevated while on or near a sloping, uneven, or soft surface. Ensure the machine is positioned on a firm, level, and uniformly supported surface before elevating the platform or driving with the platform in the elevated position. Use extreme caution when driving in reverse, when driving with the platform elevated, and when driving with any part of the machine within 6 feet of any obstruction. Keep non-operating personnel at least 6 feet or 1.83 meters away from the machine during driving operation. Don't use high speed in restricted or close areas or when driving in reverse. Always post a lookout and sound the horn if equipped when you're in areas where vision is restricted. When driving in high speed, adjust to slow speed before stopping. Travel grades in low drive speed only. Be aware of stopping distances when traveling in high and low speeds. No stunt driving or horseplay is permitted. Check clearances above, on the sides, and below the platform when raising and lowering the platform. Never use the scissor arms to gain access to or leave the platform. Keep hands and limbs out of the scissor arm assembly during operation. Platform to structure transfers at elevated positions are discouraged. Where transfer is necessary, enter and exit through the gate only with the platform within 1 foot or 0.3 meters of a safe and secure structure. Allow for platform vertical movement when entering or leaving the platform. 100% tie-off using 2 lanyards is required when transferring. 1 lanyard must be attached to the platform with the second lanyard attached to the structure. The lanyard connected to the platform must not be disconnected until such time as the transfer to the structure is safe and complete. Reverse the lanyard attachment procedure when entering the platform from a structure. If your JLG rough terrain scissor lift is not equipped with designated lanyard anchorage points, contact JLG Industries Incorporated for information on installing authorized lanyard anchorage points. Do not operate without guardrails in place and secured. It's a safety violation. Don't carry materials on the platform railing unless approved by JLG. Don't increase the platform size with unauthorized deck extensions or attachments. Never position ladders, boxes, steps, planks, or similar items on the machine to provide additional reach for any purpose. Always ensure that power tools are properly stowed and never left hanging by their cord from the platform work area. Do not tie off the machine to any adjacent structure. Never attach a wire, cable, or any similar item to the platform. Avoid an accumulation of debris on the platform work area. Keep mud, oil, grease, and other slippery substances clean from your footwear and the platform deck. This section provides information on the procedures to be followed and the systems and controls to be used in the event an emergency situation is encountered during machine operation. Prior to operation of the machine and periodically thereafter, the entire operator's and safety manual should be reviewed by all personnel whose responsibilities include any work or contact with the machine. Although towing the machine is not recommended, provisions for moving the machine in case of a malfunction or power failure have been incorporated. Consult the operator's and safety manual for the proper procedures to be used only for emergency movement to a suitable maintenance area. The ground control station is used for functional check and emergencies only. It's located on the frame on JLG rough terrain scissor lifts. The controls on this panel provide the means for overriding the platform controls and for controlling lift functions from the ground. Place the key select switch to the ground position and operate the desired function switch. The manual descent system is used in the event of total power failure to lower the platform. Consult the operator's and safety manual for the location and proper operation of the manual descent system for the applicable JLG rough terrain scissor lift. Know how to use ground controls in an emergency situation. Ground personnel must be thoroughly familiar with the machine operating characteristics and the ground control functions. Training must include operation of the machine, review, and understanding of the operator's and safety manual, and hands-on operation of the controls. To shut down and park the machine, the procedure is as follows. First, drive the machine to a well-protected and ventilated area. Ensure the platform is fully lowered. Shut down the emergency stop at platform controls. If necessary, cover the platform controls to protect instruction placards, warning decals, and operating controls from hostile environmental conditions. Remember to uncover prior to operation. Shut down the emergency stop at the ground controls. Position the platform ground select switch to off and remove the key to prevent unauthorized operation. Chock at least 2 wheels when parking the machine for an extended period of time. It's important to complete your work safely using the JLG rough terrain scissor lift. In order to do so, you must utilize common sense and the information provided in this presentation in the operator's manual and the decals and placards on the JLG rough terrain scissor lift. We were not able to cover all optional features and configurations of all JLG rough terrain scissor lifts in this presentation. Therefore, if your JLG rough terrain scissor lift is equipped differently from those shown in this presentation or in your operating manual, contact your authorized JLG distributor in your area, or contact JLG Industries Incorporated for proper operating instructions at area code 877-JLG-SAFE or 877-554-7233. Written correspondence may be sent to JLG Industries Incorporated at 1 JLG Drive, McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania, 17233. Attention, Product Safety and Reliability Department. Or via email at productsafety@jlg.com.